Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ksar Talk Show. As usual, go to this page on this information panel here and here, over here, at the bottom of YouTube video, and let me know and pick a topic. Pick a topic, and we'll talk about that. Meanwhile, Ksar Talk Show. Let me fix the title here. Okay, so what are we gonna talk about today? Well, today the Notre Dame Cathedral burned down. Basically, that's a sad story. So that keyboard, I'm gonna talk about that keyboard. That's the what's the name? But anyway, yeah, there's a few things happenings in the world, and we might talk about that. One of that is the biggest news today is probably the Notre Dame Cathedral. You see, if you have a Twitter account, just go to Twitter and search, in the search box, type Notre Dame. You see a lot of videos. This cathedral is about 800 years old. So, and it burned down. And this cathedral took 200 years, about 200 years to build. So you can see from this video the spire fell. That's pretty bad. I feel it's pretty bad for Europe. It's like France is falling apart because of the yellow jacket protest. It's been going on for for almost a year. It's still going on as far as I know. Lots of violence and UK, United Kingdom, you have the Brexit going on and lots of violence with the lots of violence and upheaval. It's a chaos. It's a political stability problem. That's a proper term. It's in political kind of, it's unstable, chaos, tumult, and that's going on in Europe. And from my perspective, I blame much of it on social justice scam. Basically, you have this left. It's not clear how to call it. Maybe the proper term is extreme left. Okay, basically their topics, their subject is about immigration, Islam, pro-Islam, like Islam this or that every day, and feminism, LGBTQ, trans stuff, and race, racism. So that's the topics they talk about every day. They've been frying, like when you when you when you eat fried rice, you fry these topics every day since 2016 election. The Trump got elected and it got bad. Um, Hi guys, so say hi. We got 4 people watching, and I'm drinking tea, and this is oolong tea. Computer tea, Earl Grey. Earl Grey, Earl Grey tea is from England, from something like that. But I think tea is invented in China. I think. But anyway, we don't drink Earl Grey tea. We don't have Earl Grey tea. We drink oolong tea. The thing about tea is funny. So in America or UK, you drink tea with milk, and sometimes you put sugar. And but to Chinese, that's like what the fuck. You never ever put sugar or milk in tea. You drink tea, it's just tea. Uh, but anyway, that's and also in America, you now it's like sometimes you call tea like chai. This stupid American. It's the reason that happens is because the corporations. American is a capitalistic country. The corporations, they make money. They want to make money, like Starbucks, especially Starbucks. So if you're gonna have a tea item, you say tea, people get bored. They know what tea is. They so you want to create new jargons like chai, something chai. Then people say, "Oh, what is that? Oh, I never tried that. Let's try chai." Good morning, Isaac. What about milk tea? The boba milk tea. That well, milk tea. We don't drink milk tea. I mean, what? I'm not actually offhand. I'm not sure what is milk tea. Basically in China or Taiwan, I suppose in Japan as well, tea is just tea. You have green tea, but you have oolong tea, green tea. But they are basically all okay. They are like Earl Grey tea, okay, kind of. So it's like you just tea. There's no milk, no sugar. Tea is just tea. In fact, there's actually in America, for example, you have lemon tea. Or you have the other fruit tea like healthy herbal, like herbal tea. I don't know what the fuck. Never heard of that herbal tea. And then you have citrus tea, like you put lemon flavor or sometimes orange. I never heard. I mean, okay, but anyway, in at least in Taiwan or China, okay, it's like a foreign concept. You never hear of that. Uh, but in America, you have, I mean, it's kind of understandable because corporations, they created these things to sell, to sell stuff. It's like a latte, Okay, it's similar to coffee, okay? So in coffee is the American thing. I don't know, maybe I don't know what's the origin, but anyway, coffee is very popular in America, right? A lot of people are crazy about coffee, like programmers like coffee every day, coffee this and that. Then you have Java, where the Java programming language is named after Java, some kind of um, coffee. Then latte. So and also other food items like pizza and spaghetti. But basically, in USA, when you sell them, uh, often you create jargons and you create the food or drinks that that is totally different from where they came from, from the foreign country in Italy or China or whatever. But however, you put on a exotic name to sell it. And it's like, oh, this is something chai, or this is latte. It's from Italy or from China. It's like exotic, it's foreign, and you have these foreign names. But when you actually buy it, drink it, or whatever, the food is actually not. It is so-called Americanized. It's not even. It's like fast foodized. Oh, 奶茶, yeah, 奶茶, yeah, milk tea. Okay, we don't. Well, the boba milk tea. Okay, there's something interesting about that. Okay, okay. First of all, about the boba milk tea. That's not really tea. I mean, that's like a a dessert. It's a sweet drink, and they put the tapioca thing. I looked up what is the tapioca exactly one day, but anyway, they put this. Um, like both in America, you call it boba milk tea. I think that originated from Taiwan. Taiwan is very famous, very popular for these old kind of small uh, eatery items like special drinks, special dishes. So anyway, that's from Taiwan, and it began from from young people drinking that. It's like it's a dessert. It's a sweet thing. But when you drink that, okay, you don't. It's not tea. I mean, we Chinese people, we don't think of it as like it's tea. It's not tea. It's just a sweet drink. But by the way, also another thing interesting is that boba. Why is it called boba? Boba means basically uh okay, literally. Okay, Isaac, you are American Chinese, right? I mean Chinese American. So let me type the name of that tea here so that boba. That's it. Uh, so that's a name. Boba 奶茶. The first two, I think that name came from Hong Kong. That name originates from Hong Kong. So that the first two characters, in America you call it boba milk tea. Okay, let's see. Boba milk tea. Okay, let's see if we can get some like pictures. There's a problem with the duckduck because when you have JavaScript off, and if you want to image search, you cannot do it because, for example, I just tried it. Um, I have JavaScript off. Then I type the item. There's no way for you to click to get to images. There's no way. Even then, now I have turned on the JavaScript, but still, there's no way for you to get to it. So what do you do? Boba milk tea. So what you do is you go all the way down. Wait, not all the way down. You click the logo, then you click the logo again. Then you go to all the way down. You click on their logo word again. Now you type. Yeah, you have to type again. It's very extremely idiocy of the DuckDuckGo, the company. Somehow they don't see it. I got problems with these open source and these groups stupid like that. Like when it comes to user interface, they cannot function, they cannot think. These Linux people, okay, including Emacs people, they are somehow incapable of thinking. So anyway, the problem I'm illustrating is that, you see, now I have images. Basically, I want to image search, go to, DuckDuckGo, but there is no way. But now I have JavaScript on. Let's see, boba milk tea. Okay, now you have when you have JavaScript on, then you can go to, okay. The problem, okay, let me recap. Let me summarize the issue, okay. This problem with the DuckDuckGo search engine is that when you have JavaScript off, which happens often for people who like to use DuckDuckGo, right? Because DuckDuckGo is, doesn't track you and stuff. So a lot of us nerds have the, JavaScript off. So when you have JavaScript off, you go to DuckDuckGo and you want to search images. You cannot do it, okay? I mean, you cannot do it, okay? That's one problem, because when it's like you cannot. There's no link. There's no link to it. It just because when you have JavaScript off, DuckDuckGo sends you to a HTML version of their search. Okay, very stupid. Okay, but notice the big deal is that it's not the big deal. What I'm trying to illustrate, what I'm trying to convince you is that these people, there's an idiocy. They are incapable of thinking about user interface design. Because in contrast, okay, when I have JavaScript off, I can go to Google search or Bing. I can search images, no problem. This happens just with DuckDuckGo. This is stupid people, okay, fuckheads. And there's no way when I talk to them. I mean, most of you and most of my followers are Linux, kind of people, right? That's the field I mean. But when you talk to them, when we discussion, I mean, between friends, even, I mean, I'm not talking about someone who doesn't like me. Okay, between people, my followers, okay, or acquaintances, when I talk to them, they cannot get it. They don't see the user interface. They don't see, or they say they disagree, or this or that, or whatever. They don't get it. This is part of the reason Linux, and open source and Emacs, the fucking Emacs dev people, okay, they get nowhere. They cannot go nowhere. They forever they stay in this niche group, like geeks, a bunch of nerds, every day talking about privacy stuff, but they have no influence to anywhere outside of their little world. They don't see it. Okay, that's a little bit digression about about the user interface issue. Okay, first of all, DuckDuckGo. First of all, you should allow people to search images even when they have JavaScript off. Okay, Google, for example, allows that. I can search Google images without having JavaScript on. First of all, DuckDuckGo should do that. Secondly, if for some implementation issues, or maybe you don't have resources, you have to like separate this JavaScript version and no JavaScript version. That's stupid anyway. But if you have to do that, you must allow people to whose browser has JavaScript off. Then they type the search term. Then you send them to this no image version. You must have a link to image to a then I turn on JavaScript. Okay, I see it. Oh, I don't have JavaScript. Then I turn it on. Then you should have a link, to let people go to, just by clicking, not having to retype everything again. Let people go to the image search link. So so the image shows. So that's a problem with the DuckDuckGo. That's just one problem. The other problem is the name. They really DuckDuckGo. It's one of the most idiotic, stupid name. You cannot thrive. You cannot grow. With that name. You first of all you need to shorten it. DuckGo. Okay, just DuckGo. DuckDuck.com. Okay, or something. Or DuckGo.com. Okay. But they kind of refuse. I mean, sometimes you see they have reasons because, domain name, or they did this, that. But in general, yeah, these Linux open source stupid idiots, they always have reasons. But the end result is that they go nowhere because their user interface is just idiotic. Now, this applies to Mastodon too. Mastodon is again one of the extreme idiocy that's going nowhere. In fact, there's no people there. I mean, the great thing is that it's anti this corporation control. So there's no algorithm that controls my post. For example, when I post something, usually I post on Mastodon and Twitter at the same time. Like I have efficient keys, and I just press a key, and it's posted to both places without using scripts or bots. I'm not using scripts or bots. Okay, so when I post some ideas, for example, about a cathedral fire, or some ideas about firefighting, I mean, like nerds' interest. I mean, is there, then on Mastodon, often I get reply immediately. Like some other nerds will see my question and they have, opinions. Sometimes, good. I get interaction. But on Twitter, it's almost none because of for multiple reasons. But on Twitter, I have 2,000, 2,400 followers. On Mastodon, I have only, on this, I have 365 followers. There'll be maybe more because on Mastodon, there's another issue. Okay, it's this federation, which is a problem actually. So on Mastodon, I don't have that many followers. But however, I get, there's a exchange of information. There's a conversation. There's a interaction because that's the reason is because Twitter is controlling information. They are controlling information flow. They are doing censorship and all that. So I mean, so that's a great thing about Mastodon. But however, Mastodon has got so many problems that's typical of the open source or Linux or these nerds, idiots. They cannot go anywhere. They yes, there are so many reasons. Okay, but one of the reasons is they have this. Okay, they have open source ideology vision. That's one problem. But I'm not focusing on that today. I mean, right now, I'm talking about these nerds. They have problems. They have problems, understanding user interface, understanding people, basically. The point I want to get back to is that the name Mastodon, okay, the name Mastodon, it's not one of the most idiotic name. It's not going anywhere, okay. So anyway, so the other thing I was saying is that Mastodon, it was like hugely popular by all the nerds. Oh, we're gonna Mastodon, federation, no no corporate control, distributed. But then today, I knew from the day one, I've argued with people, it's not going anywhere. Today, it's less and less people. It's like nobody. But again, the advantage is that because it's without corporate control, without algorithm, controlling information and all that. Therefore, even I don't have that many followers, I get some discussion. Okay, it's dwindling and dwindling. The people is less and less. Anyway, so the name is very bad, and like Mastodon, like what the fuck is it? And also you cannot type it. Like there's like multitudes of ways to spell it. You might think, you might think it's Mastodon. Let me magnify. Okay, that's wrong. Then Mastodon, then that's wrong. Mastodon, that's wrong. Mastodon, that's wrong. Then Mastodon, that's wrong. So you have this stupid word they want to use. Then you have this variation. It's impossible. Then of course you talk to my followers. You talk to these geeks. They say, oh, they don't see it. Basically, they don't see this like to their brain. They don't see these issues. They don't see, oh, it's just a name. Then blah 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 blah. These Linux people, Emacs people, basically the Unix people, basically this type of people. They cannot. They are they are unable to see to get the perspective on user interface or how society works. Okay, now as to why that happens, that's another topic. But anyway, let me get back to the topic here. Okay, so so that's Mastodon. That's about Mastodon and this open source people's problems, their problems. But you don't want to stay forever in this niche. I mean, it's been, open source has been 20 years, 30 years. Okay, you have Linux for 30 years today. Basically, or if we count the day when Linux became popular, we have 20 years already. It's going nowhere. Then the stupid open source people say, oh, look at Google, they are all using servers or Linux. Yeah, Google is using that because it's free. Linux is such a free operating system. You download it for free. It's supposed, such a free thing. It's great. Yeah, it is great. It's supposed to already wiped out Windows already. It's not happening because you're Linux and because you guys you people's behaviors and thinking pattern does not reflect reality, because that's why Linux is so bad. It's such a free system. You're supposed to wipe out Windows already. I really hoped it would, but it's not. I've used it's Linux. I've used it. I've used for 4 years. 2 years ago. It's one of the worst compared to Mac, Linux, Windows. Linux is by far, by like two times, three times the worst shit on the planet. Okay, operating system. Anyway, that's guys. I'll get to the comment. So, but anyway, let me backtrack. So we talk about Linux and Mastodon bad naming. Okay, and before that, it was because DuckDuckGo. Okay, DuckDuckGo is the bad naming. Okay, and also they got the user interface problems of searching images. When you don't have JavaScript on. Okay, that's sidetrack. So I kind of that part is finished. Let me get back to the boba tea. Okay, boba milk tea. So you see these are very popular these days. Like, well, I don't know about, at least it's popular in, let's say, Silicon Valley. In the San Francisco Bay Area. You go to almost any downtown where there's Chinese restaurants, you'll have this coffee shop. They sell these. Okay, now this originated from Taiwan, as I said, but there's something interesting about this tea, which reflects the differences of American thinking. So the name is boba. You might wonder, where does the name, what does boba mean? So boba, the Chinese character is that over there here, boba. Okay, and what does that mean? That basic literally it means huge waves, like ocean wave. Huge waves. But actually, that is a slang for big tits. Okay, for women's breasts. Like, some women's got huge, big breasts. That's a slang for big breasts. So that's why it's boba. That's I believe that name originated from Hong Kong. The milk tea, the boba milk tea, I think is originated from Taiwan. But the boba term, the slang is from, I think it's from Hong Kong. But anyway, that's why it's named that. Okay, so why is a big breast? Oh yeah, because it's milk. That's why. You know, giant tits milk. It's just like among young people. This drink is mostly enjoyed by the young people, teenagers, teen generation. So it's like huge tits milk tea. Okay, but anyway, yeah, but in America, you cannot not have that. Oh, oh my God, big tits milk drink. No, 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 we cannot. That's misogyny or whatever. you know. So okay, that's one topic about the boba milk tea. And back then to tea, we don't drink Chinese. Well, this is dessert. Okay, we don't. I mean, this is not tea. I mean, we don't think of this as tea. Chinese, Taiwan, or at least Taiwan, okay, and China, and I suppose in Japan as well, okay, and much of South Asia. We drink tea every day. There's never milk in tea. There's never sugar in tea. I mean, tea is just tea. You see people drink it every day, especially like in kung fu movies. It's like in American, as well, not just American, but in Chinese kung fu movies, it's like you have to drink tea, then you fight or whatever. So I'm actually drinking from a tea bag, kind of. So yeah, so tea, but what's the deal with milk or sugar? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different culture. I suppose in England, they drink tea with, I mean, milk with tea. I mean, yeah. So it's just different. That is all about that. So milk tea. Yeah. So back to the, so in America, you don't call these, well, the name boba milk tea is from big tits. The giant tits milk tea. That's a slang. Okay. Um, but in America, you cannot. It would be hard to actually explain the origin. People are like, shh, shh, don't talk about it. Basically, especially the leftist white scums. Okay, the social justice scum, because because on one hand every day they are like, oh, we need multicultural, multicultural. But this boba milk tea, okay, giant tits milk tea, that's a slang among Chinese. They suddenly American. Oh no, no, we cannot do that. So the multicultural of the left, okay, is actually just the white man's ideas with different hats, with different skin color. When they want what they want to consider Chinese, when they want to support, like Chinese, Asian or whatever community in the American, the left social justice scan is that, you just you just make your eyes slant. Oh yeah, we accept you, but you believe in our idea. Then for black people, okay, black people, they are that's a different story, because blacks, they were from Africa, but they were born in America for like 200 years now. Anyway, the other cultures like Islam, okay, yeah, anyway, so let's getting into another topic. So yeah, so what I'm saying is that the multicultural, that's spread by this social justice scan, is that it's just it's just just white people's thinking, the leftist, the extreme leftist white people's brain with colorful, they want you to put a colorful hat or different skin. They consider that as multicultural. Because if you look around the world, Japan, Chinese, you see Japanese anime, all these little girls, the anime stuff, and Chinese, they have women tits, statue in towns like in Thailand. You cannot have that in America. So what is your multicultural about? I mean, the culture. When we talk about culture, it's about true culture, not, oh, you have slanted eye or whatever, you have funny hat, or you wear a turban, or whatever. but but or Indians, with feathers, or whatever. The American Indians, Native Americans, what they call it. So the left multicultural is just, it's just that. I mean, their multicultural is just like people with funny hats and different things. They accept that. Anything actually different beliefs and thought, they don't follow. They don't support. So it's the social justice guy. It's really scum. Okay. Now, if so happens, if I have programmers watching my video, uh, you know after the real time, I hope to convince, and well, not necessarily convince, but I hope I'm giving you some information, so if you can think twice, if you are in kind of in believe in this social justice, the leftist kind of thing, the pronounced fuck. Okay, this today, okay, back in 2016, I have traders, right? So I trade, whenever I have I never followed politics before that. Basically, none of my followers are. I'm not following any political accounts. Like, I don't know much about it. You know, uh, and but I see the news, and rarely, now and then, every month, sometimes I post something, that's mild, about some opinions about feminism or stuff. Then I can see some, so all my followers and what I follow are mostly, a bit, almost all are programmers, or or into math, nerds stuff. So sometimes I put some opinion, rarely, then I notice, I do know some people unfollowed me, because at that time, okay, this is back in 2016, late 2016, okay. Then I feel very bad. When I see that happens, I feel very terrible. Okay, I feel I feel sad. I feel, maybe I should, but not today. Today, if you are one of those people, who is like posting social justice stuff every day, pronounce feminism, whatever, go fuck yourself. Okay, you are a Nazi. Okay, you are extreme. It's not Nazi. You are about to kill, 1,000 people, million people is going to die. Okay, so if you still believe that, I hope you might consider. But otherwise, if you are already strongly believing that, okay, go away. That's what happened today, because there's so many stories, and the social media are lying every day. Uh, Actually, there is an example we're gonna talk about today, because I'm gonna answer the comments in a minute. Okay, so today, there's another incident. Okay, every day this is like if you actually look into the issue every day on the news. Okay, today the social, the political situation is that, as it's heavily divided. You have the, left, like their topic, their subject every day is immigration, racism, feminism, gays, trans, kind of every day. Um, it has become, it's just basically, it just became, it's not really about, solving humanity's problems or whatever. It has become just a trend. This is their ticket. This is their flashcard. The trans racism stuff. you know they do nothing just to, they don't, I don't, it's like they don't really care. Okay, this, especially, these people are very rich. Okay, it's like in Hollywood, the big, they have, like, they are all millionaires. Okay, so these teachers all professors, the human, equity department, whatever. um, they like in universities today, these people, these administrators for the human, what they call it, equity and diversity, oh yeah, diversity department, they make more money than math professors, than engineering, physics professors, because I've checked. Well, I haven't really looked in detail to verify, but it's for 100% certain they make a lot of money, equal or more. The stat I've read, it's like, a lot of them, or at least at some universities, they make more than math professors, for example, or physics or chemistry professors. And they are administrators. I mean, they are like the diversity department, the head of the diversity and equity department. That's why this happens, because money. Because the more of that, the racism, the LGBT, gay, trans, the more of these kind of things, the more they thrive. Once you have actually truth or how to solve some problems, okay, then they don't have a job anymore. Okay, and many of these people, a lot of them are female. Okay, women. Okay, it's sad to say, but they are, but that's a fact. Majority of them are women, and they, why? Because why don't they go to STEM? Like science and engineering, like these social justice scam fuckheads. They want to, women, they want to force women to STEM. So why don't they go to STEM? Because women in general, they are not interested. It's not the topic they are interested. So anyway, these people, admin people, they make so much money, and how college is getting so expensive today. And anyway, so like every day there's so many issues, controversies. You look into, uh, it's all lies. Like it's fake news. Fake news. By the way, do you know how fake news, the word, um, do you know how the, where does came from? Where does the term fake news came from? Uh, 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 um, it's like almost like 2 or 3 years ago. Suddenly, everyone is using the phrase fake news, and especially Trump. I guess Trump, but where does it come from? I found out, there's a video from a journalist, okay, a female women reporter. I'm following her, okay, and she did a video. Actually, maybe we should can search it. She had, I think, a TEDx talk, and she explained the origin of the phrase fake news. Let's see if we can find a video so you can look. Otherwise, origin of fake news. There. Okay, go check out this video. That's her. That's a journalist. Okay. So I'm not going to play it, but you can go check it out. So basically, the origin of fake news is that it's actually some kind of like Obama associated organization. Okay, they powerful with lots of money. They created this organization, and their intention is to spread the term fake news, the concept, to the population, so that actually they can control you know information. They can say whatever they don't like, this is fake news. And it turned out it backfired. It backfired by Trump. you no, you are fake news. So yeah, yeah. So I found this origin. It's interesting because when I first heard the word fake news, like all the media is using the word every day. I mean, that's even before Trump started to use it. Okay, so I'm interested in linguistics. In the slang, and for example, boba milk tea, where the word came from. Why is it boba? Okay, so fake news. Why all of a sudden? Where does that phrase came from? And I ran into her video. I don't remember how, but then I started to know her. She's I'm following her, so you can. Anyway, she's a journalist. So she researched. She had the same curiosities. She researched, the origin of the fake news phrase. So, and the other thing I want to talk about today is actually this incident by this Jim Jeffrey guy, a scumbag. Okay. But anyway, let me read the comments then, because I'm probably like on a train of my own. Okay, only 4 people watching. That's all of you, I guess. Um, so break the loop. Good evening or good night. Uh, so break the loop says, what makes you prefer browsing with JavaScript off? Because all the viruses and tracking, they all came from JavaScript. Once you have JavaScript off, basically you filter out 99.999 percent of all possible viruses, or tracking or whatever. Um, if you code JavaScript, then it's from JavaScript that they can know everything about you, about your location, about your history, about your what other sites you check. It's all JavaScript. Without JavaScript, if you have JavaScript turned off, basically there's almost nothing they can do. Like all the viruses, you don't have to worry about. It's like that, unless you clicked, some download something. So I disable JavaScript, but also once you have JavaScript off, everything is fast. Okay, all the website, like I use Brave in general for my general purpose browsing. So whenever I see a link, it's like I can almost feel free just click on it. I don't have to double check the link. I can click on it. It'll show the site. because I have JavaScript off. So that, and also it makes page faster. But however, note that today a lot of website does not work without JavaScript. Twitter is a example. Um, a lot of website does not. If you have JavaScript off, it doesn't work. Um, okay, do you find there is enough interesting content to read Mastodon daily? No, no. If your intention is to actually find content or interesting content, none of the social media works. Not Twitter, not Mastodon, none. Basically, yeah. But Twitter and Mastodon, they are more like social network, meaning that you talk to some people or your friends, your acquaintances. So in that aspect, uh, that's how useful. That's how I find useful in social networks. So, but on Twitter, basically on social networks, the more people you have, the more valuable, useful it is. Mastodon, you don't really have that much people, but the people there tends to all be nerds. So you can that in that way it's good. Meanwhile, the Twitter, though you have a lot of people, but they control because they use algorithms to control information flow, and they have heavy censorship. Like on Mastodon, I don't really worry about talking about all the controversial things like the social justice scan, the whatever the topics they talk about every day. I can say it on Mastodon without much worry. Okay, that's a short story. The longer story is more complicated because they are these social justice scan people. Okay, they have like, I mean, what they do is that every day they are kind of like a cult, a militant cult. It's not just like, okay, certain people, some percentage of population have these opinions, which is different from yours. Okay, it's not like that, but it's like they are a militant cult. They they aggressively and actively spread their ideas, but meanwhile also, I mean, attack, wipe out anyone who disagree, wipe out, actively seeking to wipe out anyone who disagree. That's their goal. I mean, understand this, okay? Because I have studied, I have an obsession about code, about brainwashing, about marketing, about propaganda. Okay, you know, for like 20 years since I was a teen. The idea is that there are some code leaders. Okay, I can say, and people, I have like millions of followers, and they all give me money. Like they all give me their money. And if I say, okay, today's the day you should all die, kill yourself, and they kill themselves. There are codes like that. So the idea, is that how does the brain washing works? The marketing. How do you influence people? And there are many books on that. Not just it's so important idea. Google, Facebook, they all have like professional psychologists. And marketing is a billion-dollar industry. So basically, the goal is, how do you sell things to people? I want to tell you guys, buy my Emacs. Yeah, send me send me money, buy my Emacs tutorial. I say something, you want to get people to do it, believe it. How do you do that? So if I can say that, but just buy my Emacs tutorial, and then million people will do it, that's power. So this is together, it's marketing, propaganda, brainwashing. Is kind of a related chunk of thing. Influence people. How to do that, and also of high interest in militaries. So I have an interest in that, and of course, if you look into codes, there are a lot even today. and it also ties to religion because codes and religion are kind of a similar entity. They differ in some minor differences. But anyway, so it's a big topic, and it's also a big academic subject. So how do you do that? So anyway, I studied that. So back to the social justice scan. So one of the code things, one of a good example is Scientology. Okay, you go study Scientology stuff. They are a giant, huge code, very powerful. Okay, they have like encyclopedias, their own. Okay, they have their own set of encyclopedias about everything of the world. They have their own dictionaries. Okay, I mean not own. Like they have written their own like encyclopedias and dictionaries. It's like everything about every behavior, about rules or what you should do, and so on. So I studied Scientology quite a lot, and they have jargons. They have like collection of jargons, how you talk. Basically it's almost like a little language. Okay, they use them themselves. Okay, so when I see social justice scan, these people, their things, it's very extremely similar. The tactics are similar. So today the social justice scan is okay. So what I'm saying is that it's not simply just a group of people whose idea are different from mine. And we may argue sometimes, we may agree sometimes. It's not like that. They have tactics. The best way to consider is like a code, very a code. Whatever they do, okay, for all the things you do, doesn't matter what, they are like follow a certain rule, behavior, okay, which is taught by in their group. Postmodernism, it's part of it. So that basically, okay, so their goal, they have one goal, okay, is to grow their code and wipe out anyone who disagree. If you look at, if you studied code, if you observe the behavior of the social justice people, that's you can see that's what they do. Like it's not that they have these opinions about feminism, or maybe it's good or bad or debatable. It's not like that. It's actually um, more realistic, or more proper, more fitting, more correct to think of them as a code whose only goal is to expand themselves and wipe out, eliminate who does who disagree, using the most the kind of perfected, tried and true strategies about behavior, about what you should do, about what happens when there's a conflict, what should your reaction be. It fits into that very well, the social justice scan. So basically, for example, one of the things they do is that they say, if first of all, they drag race and sex into their tenet. Like, for example, they talk about feminism, trans, and gays and stuff. Okay, basically sex. Okay, why sex? Because if you are a cult, if your goal is to expand to maximum possible, you want to get the whole population to get them involved. You have to have something that everyone can relate to, and everyone can associate. And one of such a thing is sex. Because either you are a man or you are a woman. Or these days, you also have trans or whatever, like 40 different things. Okay, so yeah, so you have that. So everyone becomes involved. Like normally in politics, when you have some issue, most people are not interested. Oh, it's politics. It's about economics or policy. Most people are not interested. But now it's about sex. It's about like male, female, and stuff. Everyone is part of it. Like you have to have a girlfriend or wife, you're gonna have daughters or sons, okay, or you have husbands, or then so they use this topic, so they attend it, they make this part of, so if you are a coach, you want to grow, one of the things that you want to get your issue, you want to raise the issue such that everyone will has a part in it, because this topic, because it's, the female male stuff, the sex stuff is part of human, a core part of humanity, and it's thorny, nobody nobody can solve the problem, because there's always tension between male and female, not just in human animals, in all animals you can see, males fight to get a mate, and females, that compete and all that, fight to the death to get mate. Often that's the time. That's the case. So one of the things you do is, to get into the subject as part of your uh, tenet, or your code's rule or stuff, so that everyone will get involved. And because and sex is such a complicated issue that, there is no, it's not something like math or something that you can simply like solve it. I mean, it's you cannot even possibly, you know it's not like there's a solution. You cannot even think of it as a problem. It's always issues between, male and female, because we are different, because, the needs are different. So you see, so that's why, sex is the issue. That and also the other thing they do is, race, because your skin color, your eyes, and whatever, it's always everyone relates to that. So that's also part of their thing. So they get these things to grow their coat. And also notice one thing they do, that they have a mantra. Okay, so like for example, they say, if you are not white, if you are white, or and you do nothing, okay, then you are part of the problem, like you are complicit. Okay, so what does it mean? So you can see from this perspective, this this idea this idea about, if you are white man and if you don't do anything about it, if you don't participate about the discussion, then you are a bad person. That's what they say. Why do they say that? Because if you view this as, the code perspective I'm talking about, because that's one of their tactic. That's the way, they want to propel this as one of their rule, as their belief, that, if you are white and if you don't participate in this discussion, then you are part of the problem. Okay, they want to sell that as one of their belief, okay, for the good of humanity. But actually, you can see that this is their aggressive way to get all people to become part of them. That's what they do. Uh, so let me get back to the comments. So I've been talking for like for how long? Oh, 1 hour. Okay, that's good. So right now here it's 11:30 p.m. Near midnight. So I have to kind of lower my voice. So let me read the comments. Actually, there's another topic I want to talk about, but I have kind of already rambled quite a bit about this incidents happened, like this week. Anyway, so Mastodon, if you want to join, I don't think, actually, I'm not sure it's worth it. I mean, if you really, I mean, if you want to study, stuff, computer science or stuff, Yeah. Anyway, I don't think social network is worth it today. Uh, okay, Linux dancing going nowhere, but also, well, it's yeah. So mobile, yeah, mobile is becoming more popular than desktop. This happened about a few years ago. Yeah, because that is true because because for vast majority of people they are not nerds, like only 0.001 or less, even less than that, one in 100,000 are nerds, programmers or engineers, kind of that. Most people, they don't know technology stuff, they don't know, so mobile, like I have my roommates, they work in restaurants, they have no idea about what is a browser. Like, it's actually impossible, even if you try to explain to them for, let's say, 1 hour. It is, you can see that, it's impossible for them to understand. Even if you try to explain to them, for 1 hour patiently what is a browser, they don't get it, they don't know. Okay, so most people are actually like that. Okay, vast majority. So for them, but they do have iPhones. iPhones. They buy Apple's iPhones, but they use iPhone all the time. They need to talk to people and chat and video chat to people in China. They do it every day. So you see, that's the situation. So why do I use DuckDuckGo and not Google if I have complaints about DuckDuckGo? Because Google is the evil empire. It's far worse. I mean, my complaint about DuckDuckGo is just one technicality, some user interface stuff. In comparison to Google, Google, that's far worse, because they it's far worse. Yeah. So I really do hope DuckDuckGo improve, but it's kind of hopeless. With usually, okay, let's not be too pessimistic. Okay, usually these open source or kind of this, usually these typical nerds, my group of people, they go nowhere. They don't understand the society. To use fly make and fly check. No, I never used them. I never used neither. Uh, so 00 avocadoras. Oh, avocadoras. We should talk about algorithmic mathematical art, but it's too late today. I'll talk about that next, tomorrow or next day. Um, so let's see. I'm thinking about showing it to my grandma tonight. I want him to see how big it is. I forgot what that is about. 00. Hi, 00. Avocadoras. You should watch Slavoj Zizek's. You should watch Slavoj Zizek's explanation of fake news. Okay. I don't know who is that. Slavoj Zizek. Okay, he's got a Wikipedia. Is a let's see. So he's a Slovenian continental philosopher. Oh, he's a senior researcher at Institute of Sociology and Philosophy at the University of Ljubljana. Global something something. Okay. Hey Kazan. Hey, break the loop. Uh, okay, that's a link. Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski, is that the Unabomber guy, says social justice types are over socialized. Yeah, I should talk about that. No, no, don't show that link. Let me show you my link, okay? uh, Unabomber Manifesto. Okay, do they show my website? Yeah, no, fuck. Okay, sorry then. Here, the Unabomber Manifesto. Now, I have actually, around 2005, I have read the whole thing and I have actually annotated it. So, for example, annotation, for example, let's see. So, this is on my website, xali.org, Unabomber Manifesto. Now, if you don't know what he is, basically, this is Theodore Kaczynski. Okay, he was known as a Unabomber because around 1990s he's a serial killer. He killed maybe 5 or 10 people. He sent bombs to people, typically the leftist professors. But eventually he got caught because of his brother, uh, gave clues to FBI. And by the way, he happens to be a mathematician. Okay, he's one of the genius. One of the one of the top mathematicians. Very sharp guy. So anyway, so back then he got before he got caught, he wrote this Unabomber Manifesto. Okay, and he want the media to publish it. He says that if you publish it, I'll stop. And nobody did, but except the Penthouse, Penthouse magazine, whose boss was, Gucci something. But anyway, Penthouse published it, and eventually other people like Wales something, Whale.sf.ca.us. Anyway, so he published it. Then his brother read it and saw, found, this looks like my brother's work, so that's how he got caught. So anyway, I read it. I read the whole thing and annotated it in 2005. For example, this chapter, industrial. So the manifesto is officially titled Industrial Society and its Future. This chapter, the nature of freedom. So for example, all the names, political, all the historical, whatever names and books he mentioned, I have annotated. I annotate, telling you who they are and stuff. For example, let me turn on JavaScript. So you can, it's interactive kind of, and also some of them are my comments. Let's see, surrogate activities. So that's the Japanese emperor. Right. Over socialization, yeah, that's the part you're talking about. Okay, so there is something I want to. Okay, the feelings of inferiority. But anyway, so back to the so this actually I found many typographical errors in his manuscript. I mean his so these are all the errors I collected. For example, paragraph 27. Parenthesis is used to mark footnote 3 and 4, while square brackets are used elsewhere. So this, typographical errors he made. And paragraph 28, mismatched parentheses and so on. Um, I have corrected them in my edition. So anyway, what is this manifesto about? Basically, um, the first half is criticizing the leftism, basically the U.S. leftism, like today's social justice gang. Okay, they he criticized them severely, like the political correctness, things like that. Okay, then the later half of the manifesto is where he got nuts. So his solution to the leftist problem is anti-technology. So in his beliefs, he believes that we should eliminate all technology. Okay, so he believed that we should go back to something like before industrialization. Okay, without tech, and he's kind of going nuts. He's very extreme in that. I mean, first of all, he describes some symptoms of the leftist, the American leftist, political correctness. Basically, correctness captures the phenomenon he's talking about. Okay, he made criticisms of the American leftist. Then on the second part, he is trying to say his ideas about some solutions, and this part he's so the first part, about criticizing the left, I pretty much agree. And by the way, this is back in 1990s. I read it in 2005. He's very accurate. His criticisms of the political left. Okay, back in 2005. But the other part of the article where he's kind of become nuts. He proposed a solution to basically he don't want technology in society, like eliminate all technology. Yeah, that's essentially what he says in this manifesto. Now, when I read this, this is published in what in 19 in first published in I forgot when, in year 2000, around there. I read it in 2005. Okay. Oh, no, no, no. Wait, this is published in 1995 or before. Yes, I remember because I was at, Illinois. Yeah, the Unabomber Manifesto is published around 1994 or something. But I read it in 2005. And when I read it, I find his criticism of the American left very accurate. But however, at the time, I'm thinking, wait a minute, back then, in 2005, the U.S. society is mostly still controlled by conservatives. There's a still very strong idea of God and religion, a Christianity, in USA. And, I cannot fathom one day we're gonna there are people is gonna be anti-god in USA. I cannot possibly imagine that back then. So when I read his criticism on the left, I was thinking, hold on a second. Okay, it's very accurate, but however, you never take even one sentence to criticize the American right, the conservative. For example, the George Bush. Okay, George W. Bush, the scumbag who bombed Iraq, and so what do you mean conservative? So they do, the U.S. They control all other countries. They control the world by, just so that it benefits them. That's what they, do. They influence or throw away other countries' politics in the name of democracy. Okay, usually it's fake. Okay, it's just in the name of democracy they control other countries, meddle with other countries' affairs. Today, the left say Russia gate. Yeah, but the American is doing that all over the world for the past 50 years, like not just topple, but send militaries or send huge billions dollars to create faction groups to, all techniques or tactics possible. Is so that's why we have all stations, military stations all over the world. Like so anyway, so I was wondering, so why didn't you, you don't even have one sentence, one paragraph to criticize the conservatives. So that part, so I that's that I find that part. So that's my criticism, about his criticism of the left. Okay. Then the other part where he says we should get rid of technology. Um, and I think he's just gone nuts. So I think he's just, it's just like I don't see it that way. I mean, even though I agree with his criticism of the left, but I don't see, reading technology is even necessary, or I don't see it that way. So what I'm saying is that I don't find it convincing. I don't follow his logic. To him he's probably like, okay, so therefore and therefore we should read of all technology. But I'm not, seeing, I don't agree. I don't follow his logic. So it wasn't, I don't think we should throw away technology at all. So this is back in 2005. But today, it's amazing. Today, what he said has come true, has actually become true. Um, Now, I don't know about the rid of technology part, but at least the first part about criticism of left, it has so become so true. If like reflected in the social justice scan, it's the world, or I mean, not just in U.S., in UK, in Canada, in Australia, basically all the white people nations. Okay, it becomes a chaos. By that, like political turmoil. It's like, meaning that, people don't really follow laws anymore. So it's not rule of law anymore. It's not. It's rather just power struggle. If I have power, I do whatever I want. I kill you. I screw you. I get you fired. I do whatever because I can, because I got money. Society has become that. The then the media is like lying. Everyone is lying all day. It's like it's all fake news. um yeah, so I was quite taken aback. Actually, many of these is becoming true. And a few years ago, 2 years ago, last year, people are citing my website on Reddit, which is good. If you want to spread this, spread my website instead of others. Um, Indian Guru Code. Okay. So I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, Indian Guru. I mean, that's old news to me. So you got these Indian gurus and whatever. Yeah, and some of them, they also sell, like, in affluent places in USA, like the Silicon Valley, and lots of the programmers, they are into like yoga and whatever shit, and they follow these gurus, like their life is too good. They get tired of nice food, rich food. Then they seek. Then they also tired of Christianity. They want something new, so they seek the some Eastern, Buddhism or yoga or stuff, and mixed with New Age stuff like pyramid or healing. There's um, Avocadoras says, I watched your other live stream, but thought you would talk more about art. Just briefly mention architecture. So you would like to see more talk about architecture? No, I was thinking I'm going to talk about this subject. Algorithmic, algorithmic mathematical art. Okay, I have this article. I think this is a great idea that I hope to talk about it in one of the talk show. So I was thinking, well, I was thinking you were asking about this because this is one one topic that I can talk about it in a focused way because there's a subject there. Okay, yeah, so we gonna let's talk about that um, tomorrow or something. Yeah, because I still okay, so I'm pretty bad at this, but I really should have a schedule and what topic, but I don't have it now. So maybe tomorrow or next few days. Make the loop. Yeah, today is actually my first episode where I just simply talked about the politics. Uh, so 00 says, "Do you know my Dixie wrecked?" No. What is that? Let's see. Urban Dictionary. Oh, okay. Um, right, how was the major Haji Center? Oh, so Bostiat. Bostiat. Bostiat says, just joined. Curious on what the cheapest programmable keyboard is. I have been your I have seen you show off some from China. You haven't been able to find them. But haven't been able to find them. What do you mean cheapest programmable keyboard? Okay, so I would say okay, just this one. Sorry, keyboard. Ergonomic keyboard reviews. So if you go, here and this one, yeah, if your goal is a cheap and programmable keyboard, okay, programmable meaning it has memory, and you can program the firmware, meaning that you can plug this keyboard in any computer or at work at home, and you'll work as you programmed it, building memory as opposed to cloud and stuff or software. But anyway, so Smart Yao I would recommend if you are looking for not too expensive ones. But other than that, okay, Smart Yao or Kinesis Freestyle or Expose. Okay, actually, Mr. Barocco it also applies. So that okay, yeah. So that's the few I would recommend. If your goal is programmable and not too expensive. There are cheaper ones though, I think, but I haven't really looked into. Anyway, so I hope that answered the question. If that does not answer the question, if you want to elaborate, just type in a comment, or just type in my video comments. You go to YouTube. Just I like to see comments. Yeah, so any question or comment or opinion, just type it. I see all of them. I will see it. Okay. By the way, Avocadora says, by the way, I think you would be intrigued by this communist Italian philosopher, Bifo. Okay. Future ability. Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about him. Uh, Okay, I might look up. The thing is, like there are so many philosophers and books. One can, your friends suggest you a book, or but you don't really have time. Especially especially if you're older. Anyway, so um, future ability. Let's see, what's his name? Bifo. Okay, I'll check it out. So philosopher. Okay. Yeah. So Bostiat. So if you want programmable keyboard, I recommend those I said. But however, if you don't care if it's ergonomic, then you have cheaper ones. For example, I would recommend, actually a lot of these gaming keyboard will do. This Logitech or this one CM Master Keys, yeah, so CM Master Keys I can recommend, and these Logitech I can recommend if you don't care for ergonomic ones. But I highly recommend ergonomic ones. Okay, this Vortex is also very good. It's also programmable, and it's driverless programmable. Yeah. So these I can recommend. They are like $100. These actually I can also recommend. Logitech 9, but you may not like the funky look. If you don't like the funky look, there's this one also programmable. Now, programmable to me is critical. I would never use a keyboard that's not, firmware programmable. So, yeah. So these are the choices. If you don't care about ergonomics, but actually ergonomics, being split and so on is also critical for me. So I think that's about it today. So I kind of today is my my first Xa Talk Show episode that's actually completely politics. Because the social justice it's getting so bad. I feel the world is crumbling. We in USA they say civil war is coming. In some kind of shape and form, and we are already seeing violences. For example, the Chris Church, whatever, what in New Zealand, uh, you know, from the social justice scan, what they say is that, oh look, they are we are right all the time, all this time, because look, the violence from these people. That's not what I see. What I see is that you have this social justice scan. Okay, you you do violence, Antifa, you suppress all the normal people. You do bad things to all the normal people, the Christian, also the traditional, the conservatives. Okay, you do, because by power you do all these bad things to other people. You keep doing it, year after year after year, until there's a point people cannot take things anymore. Okay, then you have this, whatever church that things happened. Okay, so that's what I think. And even back then, back to the other incident. Okay, but in fact, if you take actually violence, there's far more from the left. Okay, uh, the difference is that, anyway, that's another topic. Okay, so anyway, thank you, break the loop, and thank you, guys, for watching today. Hope to see you next time. Bye.